Okay. I'm still kind of sounding a little froggy. I'm still having problems with this cough, so excuse me if I cough. But I wanted to give you an update on some of the black and whites that I've been working on because I was so excited to get my hands on the Armoire. And you can see here, this is one of the Armoires. This is the small Armoire. And I did some testing. I still need to kind of figure out how I want to do this. I think I may change this again. For the piece that will be more user-friendly. Sorry, the street cleaner's going by. I am going to do a little more simplification on this. And I think there's some things that I already know I want to do. Like this part right here is too big. I need to, in my notes, I've already written down in my notes that this needs to be reduced by about 5 millimeters. It's just too tall. It's not balanced enough with the bottom. And I'm also going to make some changes to the widths here. Especially here, right here, and then along this part right here. I'm going to flip it around because you'll be able to see better what I'm talking about. I didn't put the back on this one because I wanted to show you what was going on inside, and I couldn't help it, I added a little. So you can see, I'm going to pop these out because these are just going to start to bug. You can see where the slots are for the drawers. Now, one thing I did not take into account is that this piece with, there's one, like all of this here is that doubled up carton board, and it's really, really heavy. This is a large piece, and it's a little too much for these feet. So to get around that, because in the past, you know, I've used the really, I like the inexpensive, like it's like $1.25 paper covered foam core board at the dollar store. Number one, because I can get my hands on it. Number two, because it's cheap. Number three, it's really super lightweight. Here's some of it right here. It's more of a paper backing than like a heavier board, which makes it super duper light. And when drawers are getting this big, like this one, I need more support underneath the drawer to hold it up so it doesn't tip. So it doesn't like tip like this. I need it. That's something I'm taking into account with the redesign. I shouldn't say redesign. I'm just going to be making some adjustments. I'm also going to be making this probably, let's see, we're sitting at about, at this, I'm probably going to take this down probably almost a centimeter. And I think that will also, yeah, it's going to be a centimeter, maybe a centimeter and 3. I think that'll help with the weight as well. So, because I noticed when I was cutting all of these out, this strip in particular, and this one were just like too delicate. I can manage to get my way through it because I know how to work with the paper and what the paper will do and what it won't. I don't want someone to not have a good time putting one of these together because I made a major mistake with the design. I'm also, the handles here, I think I'm going to change these. This one for sure, I'm going to change into a corner pull, like here. So you just pull that and it's open. And I need to move down the little whatchamahoozer in there, the bar. But other than that, everything fits really nicely. I did forget to pull on the printed piece, I forgot to pull out the outside. So that's why they kind of look a little janky right now, because you can kind of see where those are. My intent is for all of these to have a piece of foam core to hold things up. And you can really see how much of look how much space there is right in there. I mean, come on, that's huge. So that's the first one. Now, the second one is the larger one, and I decided I really needed to take my time with this one, so I didn't even get it done yesterday. I was really working slow, and you can see here how delicate, you can see there's like a little fold there. See how delicate that got, and it's just too small. So I feel as though what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bit here, make these bigger out of this centerpiece here, and then increase a little bit on the outside. And I think that will fix it. That's an easier fix to do here, and here than trying some other methods. And again, I'm going to need to take this down. This is pretty good. Now I want you to notice something. I cut the feet off. The reason I did that is because I wanted to see if these might work again, because I know with the chair they worked really well. I'm going to look around and see. I'd like to find some other wooden beads. These are just the ones I can get at the dollar store, and I think these need to be like, I don't know, like 5 millimeters bigger. I want something chunkier because this is a pretty chunky piece of furniture. Now, I did a much better job on the doors and everything else in this. Now again, let's flip it around and look at the innards, so you can see the parts that I feel as though kind of failed on this one. I went through and made some strategic changes. Now I can't do anything right now about these thin pieces in the front, so I just went ahead and used this board, but everything else in here is foam core. And it is much lighter. It is much lighter. It's lighter than this one. So I think that worked out really well. And again, the same changes, making this an inch and 3 inch, not an inch, centimeter, 1.3, 1.4-ish skinnier, because I was also aware of the fact that this is a honking piece of furniture. And even though when I looked at this in the prints, I'm like, wow, this is huge. This is huge. It really isn't. It's just a large piece of furniture. I'm also trying very hard to use this as some learning curves for the kitchen stuff I want to put together with, multiple drawers, etc. I have all of the drawers cut, and one of the things that I do in making the drawers, you can just leave them as paper, but I tend to use, because I'm kind of rough on these, I'm using the doubled up printer paper, heavyweight printer paper, and I just lined them so they're a little heftier. Part of me thinks that I like to try a bar on all of these, but I don't think it's going to work. And while I was working on these, I discovered that part of, how sometimes I'm like, I don't understand why I'm so attracted to this or that or the other. My grandfather Harold, in the upstairs bedroom of the house that my mother was born and raised in, did these like built-ins, and this in particular, and these drawers, I'm channeling that, because when it came time to, because I was thinking, oh, I've been sick, I think I'll have a little fun with this. I may use some paint pens and goof around and see what I can do with it. And I kept gravitating towards certain colors, and I'm like, I don't want mint green. Why would I choose mint green? Mint green isn't even remotely my favorite color. And that's the reason why. They were all in mint green. So I think there's something about it. I don't know past that what it is. But I like, again, this is something where you put things away in things. You put stuff in stuff. Keep stuff safe. There's that whole theme going on with so many of my pieces. But you can see how some of this bowed a little bit. I'm not very happy about that. The paper for the foam core usually doesn't do that. So I'm pleased with how this is turning out. This has got better supports in here, better supports in here, although you can see, let me put my finger there, you can see there's still a ridge there. I made a notation that that needs to come all the way up to that bottom piece. So that's where I am with that, and I'm going to go ahead and include this piece because I just couldn't stop, because I really like this piece, and I wanted it to, I just wanted to make it. Pardon me. Again, I think I need to take about probably about 4 millimeters off this top part here. Everything else, really pleased about. There are, this kind of warped funny, I didn't like that. It went together really well. I did make a little mistake and I forgot some stuff there. I like this little floating shelf. I didn't think I was going to like it. But you can see here, I added, because I'd been kind of going hemming and hawing. It's like, I don't want to, let me see if I can, need to find something to point with. The bamboo right here and the bamboo right here, by cutting it in half, and I would weaken it. But I really wanted to add this little extra shelf. So if you look really closely, I basically just notched it. I just cut a little bit of a square out of each corner. It was about 3 millimeters, and then glued this in, and it does wonders for stabilizing. It's a nice sturdy little piece. I like this piece a lot, and I'm going to also adapt it into like a table that would go in front of a window that you'd put plants on. Is that what I'm kind of thinking about? There's also one with maybe a larger, like you could pull chairs around it, and there's no drawer. So I like this piece a lot, and I'm going to keep it. This is the one of, I think, 900 nightstands that I've made. So I have another one of this one that I'm gonna see if I can doctor a little bit. So when I'm folding it, I'm folding maybe along this line instead of this dashed line up here. And again, I think I may have some fun with some paint pens on this, just because everything is on fire, and yeah. So that's what I've been up to. Let's see. Those are, and I need to go back through all of these. I have so many things that I'm working on. This is kind of the, I don't know, my brain is weird. And then add to that, I'm sick and I'm coughing. So that's where I am right now. I'd like to thank all of my patrons for sticking around with me, and throwing some coins to their Witcher. I'm gonna get back to work, and hopefully I'll have another little piece or two, something a little small, because this was a fun build, to show you in the next video. So thank you, and I'll see you next time.